He learned the hard way what happens when you trust the wrong person with the right secret. You're listening to Late Night Radio, where every unsent email, every half-heard laugh in a hallway, and every whispered, "Did you hear about?" has its own frequency. I'm Mark, and if you're awake right now, odds are you're not up for the sunrise yoga crowd. Tonight, we're talking about something that keeps more people up than cold pizza and caffeine after 10 p.m. Workplace drama. The kind where you wish you could just clock in, get your paycheck, and avoid becoming the subject of a group chat named Project Debriefing. Let's start with a number. About 85% of people say they've experienced workplace conflict at least once. Not a typo. 85%. There are countries with lower rates of seasonal flu than that, and nearly half of us have dealt with some pretty serious friction at work just in the last year. So unless you're a lighthouse keeper or the caretaker of that haunted hotel from The Shining, you've probably walked into one of those offices where the drama is so dense it needs its own HR rep. And if you're one of the lucky ones, maybe you've never been the main character of the office rumor mill. Maybe you're just an extra. But let's be honest, a lot of us have, at least once, had the pleasure of watching our reputation float down the break room river and out of our control. 2 out of 3 workers, by the way, say they've had a major falling out with a coworker. That's not even counting those silent little wars, where the only weapons are sarcasm and read receipts. Why do we do this? Maybe it's boredom. Maybe it's the same leftover high school programming that has us forming alliances and whispering in the cafeteria. Or maybe, sometimes, it just feels good to know you're not the only one who's a little bit lost. Either way, it's there, humming under the surface. It turns out more than half of employees say all this drama actually makes them worse at their jobs, which would be funny if it wasn't also true. So tonight, if you're lying there staring at the ceiling, wondering if tomorrow is the day someone puts a passive-aggressive post-it on your computer, or if you're still replaying a dumb argument from last week, this episode's for you. Because job titles can change, teams can shuffle, but the one thing that always stays the same is that feeling when someone at work just gets under your skin. Our first caller's name is Steve. He learned, the hard way, what happens when you trust the wrong person with the right secret. Steve, you're on Late Night Radio.
Hi, Mark. Yeah. I guess you could say I've been the subject of a lot of group chats, especially lately.
Welcome, Steve. Sounds like you've got a story.
I do. And honestly, I feel like a moron for even needing to tell it. I don't do drama, or at least I thought I didn't. I'm not the guy with the loud opinions or the big personality. I'm pretty private usually. I keep my head down. Except, apparently not as much as I thought.
What happened?
What happened is, I made a mistake. I told the wrong person something I shouldn't have. And now my personal life is basically the office's favorite TV show. I can't even eat lunch in the break room anymore.
Take me to the beginning.
Yeah, okay. I work at a software company. Not huge, but not tiny. Like maybe 70 people on our floor. Most people keep to themselves. But a couple months ago, I kind of had a situation. I got too close to someone outside of work. Not in relationship, but not nothing. And it got complicated. I promised myself I'd deal with it and not let it bleed into work. And then I went and told someone at work about it.
Who'd you tell?
Her name's Jess. I'd known her for a couple years, mostly through big team stuff. She's one of those people who just listens, you know? She's smart, and she's not a gossip. Or at least, I thought she wasn't. We had a beer after a company happy hour, just the two of us, and I unloaded. It was late, I'd had 2 drinks, and I don't know. I wanted someone to tell me their perspective. I wanted them to tell me it's gonna be fine, I guess. So I told her everything.
And then?
And then, 3 days later, I'm getting weird looks in meetings. My boss pulls me aside and asks if everything's okay at home. Guys from another department start making comments at the urinal. You know, like, heard you're back on the market, or watch out, Steve's a heartbreaker. And Jess, she doesn't even acknowledge it. The next time I see her, she acts like nothing ever happened.
Do you know for sure it was her?
Yeah, she told one person, her work best friend, who told one person. And you know how it goes. Within a week, my business was everywhere, and the story had grown arms and legs. Suddenly, I'm not just a guy who made a mistake. I'm Office OJ.
The trial of the century.
Right? Except there's no glove, just the embarrassment. And the worst part is, I keep replaying it. I keep thinking, why did I say anything? Why her? Why did I need to talk about it at all? I guess I thought work was neutral territory, like nothing personal could really stick there. And the worst part is, it's not even the gossip that keeps me up. It's that split second before I told her. I remember it clearly. We were outside the bar, it was cold. She asked if I was okay. And there was this tiny voice in my head that said, "Don't, just say you're tired." And I ignored it.
What did you want her to say?
I didn't need advice. I didn't need strategy. I just needed someone to look at me and say I wasn't a bad person.
You wanted a not guilty.
I think I couldn't sit with the idea that maybe I did something selfish. So I handed the verdict to someone else. And instead of reassurance, I got a public trial.
Does the humiliation feel worse than the mistake?
If I'm honest, I might be more upset about being exposed than about what I actually did. That's not a great thing to admit.
2 a.m. has a way of separating ego from conscience.
Maybe it's easier to blame her than to deal with my own mess.
It sounds like you're less angry at her and more uncomfortable with yourself. Was it the first time you'd ever trusted a coworker with something that personal?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not Mr. Open. I don't even do social media, not really. But it was like, in that moment, I needed to feel like a human being again. And Jess seemed safe. I didn't expect her to go blabbing, but in retrospect, maybe I should have. I mean, that's what people do, right? They share.
But now you're the main character.
I can't stand it. You know what it's like to walk into a place where every head turns just a hair too long? Or when people stop talking when you come up to the coffee machine? It's like living in a fishbowl.
So what do you want, Steve? You want revenge on Jess, or...
No, I mean, I wanted to at first, but she's not a bad person. She probably regrets it now. I want to go back to being invisible. I want people to forget. And also, I want to figure out why I did this in the first place. I never thought of myself as someone who needs validation, but I guess I do?
You're not the first, won't be the last.
You ever feel it, Mark?
Sometimes. I just talk to strangers about it instead.
Yeah, I guess you do. What am I supposed to do? I can't quit, and I can't undo it. At least not for a while.
You said you want to go back to being invisible, but invisibility is how you got here.
What do you mean?
You didn't have the conversation where it actually belongs, so it spilled somewhere easier.
Yeah.
Avoidance feels safer in the short term.
That's the part I didn't want to hear.
I know.
I keep obsessing over Jess because that's easier than admitting I chose to say it.
Because staying mad keeps you from staying accountable.
Okay. One conversation. I can do one.
One is enough.
I guess I've been trying to protect a version of myself that already cracked.
People don't break when they crack. They just become real.
Still humiliated, but clearer.
Clarity at 2 a.m. is expensive. Don't waste it.
Thanks, Mark. Night.
Night, Steve. We'll be back in a moment, and if you're still with us, this next one goes out to everyone who's ever wanted to write a post-it and slap it on their boss's forehead. Don't. The best revenge is always staying employed.
You're listening to Late Night Radio on Light and Shadow FM.
Our next caller is Millie. She's been getting the cold shoulder from a senior coworker, and it's starting to freeze up her confidence. Millie, you're on Late Night Radio.
Hi, Mark. I almost hung up 3 times. I'm not sure why. I think I'm just tired of hearing myself complain.
Nothing wrong with complaining. That's what After Hours Radio is for.
If you say so, I guess I'll just start. I work in a financial office. I started a year ago. I like the actual work, it's fine. But there's this one person, Debbie, who's like, I don't know. She's not my boss, but she's just under my boss, and she's been there forever. She's maybe 10 years older than me, and she hates me. Or, at least, she makes a hobby out of making me feel like I don't exist.
Describe hates you for me. I want to know what it looks like.
It's weirdly precise. Like when she sends emails to my team, she leaves me out of the good job line. If we're all standing around the copier, she'll acknowledge everyone but me. Sometimes she literally turns her back when I'm talking. The thing I can't get over, the part that keeps me up, is how good she is at making it look completely accidental. Like she's just distracted or busy. But she's not. She knows exactly what she's doing.
What's your best guess for why?
That's the thing. I don't have one. I mean, I'm new, but I don't make waves. I'm not younger or prettier or anything. The only thing I ever did was pull a few late nights the first month, and my numbers were really strong, so maybe I made her look bad? But I never bragged about it. I didn't go around telling people, I just did my job.
Sometimes that's enough.
Is it? I always thought if you just kept your head down and worked hard, people would leave you alone.
That's a myth. A popular one, but still a myth.
Yeah, I'm learning that.
How does this play out when you're alone at home?
Oh, God. I replay every conversation. I say the things I should have said. I argue with her in my head. Sometimes I go online and post on those advice forums, but all they tell you is stand up for yourself or report her to HR, which is hilarious because she's friends with HR.
Of course.
I don't want to escalate. I just want to be treated like a human. But the more it happens, the more I start to believe her. Like maybe I am invisible, or annoying, or not worth basic politeness. And that's the part that scares me.
That's the dangerous part.
What do you mean?
When someone ignores you long enough, you start helping them do it. It means you shrink. You speak softer. You take up less space. You start pre-editing yourself.
Yes, I do that. In meetings. I rehearse what I'm going to say, and then sometimes I just don't say it.
Because you're bracing, not because you're invisible. That sound familiar to you? That voice?
What do you mean?
You said she's good at making you feel like you don't exist, but you're the one who starts to believe it. That voice, maybe I am invisible. Have you heard it before?
Yeah, I guess so. My last job, my boss was a screamer, real yeller. I put up with it for 1.5 years before I left. I thought this place was different at first.
But it's not.
No, it's just more passive-aggressive.
And you're stuck.
For now, yeah. I need the paycheck, and I like the job. I just don't want to spend the rest of my life dreading the walk from the elevator to my desk, you know?
Let me ask you something. When she ignores you, what changes in you the next day? Do you try harder?
Yes.
Do you overperform?
I overthink everything.
That's the trap. You start auditioning for basic respect.
So I'm helping her.
You already have the job. You already proved yourself. You don't need her approval to occupy space.
Okay.
This isn't about defeating her. It's about not agreeing with her.
So it's not about her liking me. It's about me not disappearing.
Tomorrow, don't be louder. Don't be smaller. Be precise. If she excludes you, calmly include yourself. If she turns her back, finish your sentence. No apology.
I can do precise. No apology.
At 2 a.m, it feels like you're fighting a person. You're fighting an old voice. And that voice doesn't get to run the room anymore.
Thank you. Good night.
Night, Millie. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to Late Night Radio on Light and Shadow FM.
You're back with Late Night Radio. Tonight's unofficial survey. Is it possible to get through a year at work without stepping on a landmine? Or is hazard pay just a fantasy for the rest of us? If you've ever suspected that your office's greatest asset isn't its productivity, but the intricate maze of unspoken rules, alliances, and who owes who a favor, you're not wrong. Drama is currency in the modern workplace, and if you avoid it completely, congratulations. You're either a genius, a cyborg, or you just work at a bait shop in Minnesota. A lot of people think the only way to survive office drama is to outplay the game, outsmart, outmaneuver, keep dirt on everybody for leverage. But most of us just want to get through the week with our dignity and our parking space intact. The truth is, nobody gets out clean. Whether you're the cause, the target, or just a bystander, it gets on you. And sometimes, the only thing you can do is laugh about it, or else you'll never come back after lunch. If tonight has a takeaway, it's that there's no Nobel Prize for ignoring gossip, but maybe there should be. And if you're listening to this, replaying some dumb moment you wish you could edit out of your life, maybe give yourself a break. Even the people who seem untouchable are probably walking around with ancient, unresolved embarrassments clinging to them like badge lanyards. So here's to the ones who survive another day of it, the ones who keep their heads down or up or even on a swivel. And if you're feeling like you want to disappear, or if you just want to be seen, both are valid and both are temporary. Eventually, it all ends up a story, sometimes even a good one. This is Late Night Radio. I'm Mark. See you next shift.